And little do you know that they're talking to everybody at your job. They're talking to all of your family and friends. They're suggesting that you need help, that you need to see a therapist, that you have some sort of disorder. God forbid they discover the PsychopathEXposure show or other videos on YouTube about narcissism, because they will study those videos. They will become experts, even though they sound like buffoons when explaining it, but they will become experts at convincing your friends and family that you're a narcissist. What's up, guys? Welcome back to PsychopathEXposure. My name is Kira. How you guys doing today? Thanks for tuning in to the show. Today I'm going to be reading a comment from Sharon that came in. Sharon says, if I could please talk about the smear campaign, the narcissist smear campaign, and how they start bad-mouthing you, playing the victim long before we have had enough and finally decided to tell someone how it really is. It's then that we find they have already convinced others, including family and close friends, that it was us who were the villain. It's always mystified me that there's some secret trigger that goes off in their head, knowing when to start the gossip. We must give off some signal that we are reaching the end of our tolerance to their crap. Okay, that's a good question. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for asking. Let's dive right in. The narcissists are known to create a smear campaign when the relationship falls apart. Now, this doesn't always happen, but it happens often enough that we recognize it as a pattern, okay? And I will be making more videos on this, more in depth, because there are a lot of cruel, not just cruel things that they do, but illegal things that they do online and also in real life, right? That's punishable. It's punishable by up to 5 to 10 years sometimes, okay? And if that's happening to you, I urge you to speak with an attorney so you can burn these suckers, okay? And justice can be served. But more on that in another video. Got to realize once the narcissist understands beyond a doubt. No, you know what? I'm not even going to go and say beyond a doubt. I'm going to say once they have, like you said, if there's a secret trigger that they're like, you know what? I have a feeling they're on to me. I have a feeling they're on to me. I have a feeling they're starting to fight back. They're starting to show resistance. It's time to abort and jump ship. Okay. Now that happened in my relationship with a psychopathic narcissist a long time ago already. But it was my resistance that triggered, okay? It was my resistance that triggered her to abort and start the smear campaign and to groom everybody else and to badmouth me to those people. And I did discover that later, and luckily for me, they all quickly took my side because she kind of did the same thing to them. And then it's like, oh shit, like that, yeah, that makes sense now. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. She said this, but then this person, you know, they're not that smart. Not all of them. You know, some of them, they you know, you have to understand everyone has different IQ level, right? Even the narcissists, they can be highly intelligent to some things, but in another part of them, because they have a disorder, they're sloppy and they slip and they make mistakes, and that's how they get caught. So it's that resistance that you show the narcissist that might tip them off and create maybe that fear, if you want to call it that paranoia that you're going to discover who they really are, and they can't face that rejection. They can't face themselves if you're calling them out and you're pointing all these things out, and they have nowhere else to go. So what do? At this point, they devalue you. Okay? You're no longer this person that they held so dear on a pedestal. Now they devalue you, and they gaslight you even more than you've already been experiencing. And they start telling their friends and their family and your friends. They start telling them a bunch of lies about you. And they do that. It's kind of clever the way they do it, because they come at it with from a sense of like they need help, like they want to vent to somebody, and they put on these fake tears, right? And they say all these things. They played the victim card. The psychopaths and narcissists, they start playing the victim card, okay? And it's unreal, the extremes that they go to play that victim card, all right? And little do you know that they're talking to everybody at your job. They're talking to all of your family and friends. They're suggesting that you need help, that you need to see a therapist, that you have some sort of disorder. God forbid they discover the PsychopathEXposure show or other videos on YouTube about narcissism, because they will study those videos. They will become experts, even though they sound like buffoons when explaining it, but they will become experts at convincing your friends and family that you're a narcissist and that you have all sorts of problems and that you're trying to make this relationship work, but they're so abusive. They twist everything to make you look like you're the monster. And when you finally develop the courage to tell somebody what's going on, because you're so embarrassed to even admit to anybody in your social circle or to your family that, hey, maybe your marriage is falling apart. Nobody likes to admit that. And you finally reach out to somebody, and you're like, this is what's going on, and it's like you walked into the trap. See, the narcissist had already spoken with them months prior. And the narcissist told them that you would be coming around and saying this and this and this. And then you're screwed, because now it's like, well, I was warned about you. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's how you know you're really dealing with a monster. And at that point, you can't take back that low-life piece of shit. You can't afford to give that person the benefit of the doubt ever again, because this is what they have already done. They've already smeared your name to everybody. In everybody's eyes, you're garbage. In everybody's eyes, you're garbage. And the person that's doing it, it's also the person that makes you feel better. Because you know you feel better when you're getting the attention from the narcissist. You know you feel better when they come back, right? But that's your abuser. Do not confuse that. That's your abuser. So yeah, there is some sort of signal that goes off. They can recognize it. And I think it's when you start to show resistance. When you start pushing back on their bullshit. When you start pushing back and you're like, no, wait a second. This doesn't make sense. You're going to tell me that it took you 4 hours to go to the grocery store and you basically had to put on all your makeup and all your and your sexiest heels and this and that, or if we're talking about a guy, he's just decked out, sports jacket to go to the supermarket? I don't think so. And yes, they do that. That's how little they respect you at that point. They blatantly will walk out of the house in full lingerie, makeup, perfume, heels, the hair, and they tell you they're just going out for a burger with their girlfriend. Yeah, okay. Now, why do they get away with it, you ask? Because at that point, you are so so compromised, you are walking on eggshells, you are so afraid of losing them that even though they're blatantly doing things that warrant a breakup, you're still afraid of losing them. You're still afraid of them getting upset and actually disappearing, ghosting, and cheating on you. So you put up with it. But if you resist, right, not only will they obviously get pissed off at you, pick a fight, disappear, ghost, and cheat on you. Yes, that will happen. That was going to happen anyway, but yes, it will happen right then and there. What you feared will transpire. It will happen, and it will happen even more. But what will also happen, it's going to trigger the narcissist to abort and to jump ship and to start talking trash about you and to create a smear campaign. But what's the alternative, guys? Do you want to stay in a toxic relationship like that? That's the point of no return. They're already cheating on you. There's nothing that can be salvaged at this point. For you guys that think that you can salvage a relationship with someone that has been an infidel, I don't know what planet you're living in. I really don't know. How can you ever be happy with this person? How could you live with yourself? Truth is, you can't. That's why it never works out. I've never met anybody that has taken back an infidel and actually been happy and lived happily ever after. And I've met a lot of people. And I've met a lot of people that have taken back their infidels. And none of them make it through. It just doesn't work. And then they're like, shit, I could have spared myself 5 more years of misery. But nobody wants to be alone, apparently. And you know what? That's why I challenge all the survivors that get out of a narcissistic entanglement to go 1 year without dating. 1 year. 365 days without dating. Just by yourself. Hang out with friends, hang out with family, hang out with coworkers, hang out with your dog, hang out by yourself. Learn to enjoy your own company. Go to a movie. Go to dinner by yourself. Travel by yourself. That's my favorite. I love traveling, but I love going to the airport, getting on that plane, and just arriving in a new city or a new country. I love that. And I love meeting people when I get there. And oftentimes I meet some pretty girls when I get there. And it's amazing. It is amazing because the universe always provides. You just got to ask. But if you're stuck in that garbage, you can't move forward, right? You can't move forward. So the smear campaign is going to happen. It's inevitable. The quicker you can get out of this relationship, right, the less trauma you're going to have. For every day that you stay in a toxic relationship with a narcissist, the more trauma you're going to build. And it's just going to get uglier and uglier and uglier. It's unfortunate that they make you out to look like the villain. It's unfortunate that this is the way the world works, even without narcissists. You know, sometimes some people think you're the villain and you're the hero. Sometimes you're the hero, live long enough to be the hero, and you become the villain. What was it? Quote from The Dark Knight. You know, it is what it is. I know that's another cliche saying, but it's true. It is what it is. Not everybody in this planet is going to love you or like you. Some people, no matter what you say or do, are going to hate you. And sometimes some people that hate you now, later on grow to love and respect you. And some people that love and respect you now, later grow to despise you. What can you do? Same thing with romantic relationships. Sometimes the fire burns hot, and other times it grows cold. And that's the end. So it's also the end of this video, but not before you guys drop a like and a comment, right? Letting us know how bad your smear campaign damage was. Not so much the damage, but what exactly did they do, and for how long were they doing it? And when was it that you discovered that they were already smearing your name to friends and family and coworkers? Share with us below. I will probably read most of them, or at least the best ones, online and continue elaborating the topic, as this is a very popular point of discussion when dealing with narcissists and toxic people. So thanks for watching, guys. My name is Kira. This is Psychopath Exposure. I'll see you in the next video. Be good to yourselves. We'll catch up soon. Peace.